I see this glare from the screen. Just hopping in here very quickly because we have some onboarded interns from our web design team for the summer, and through the process of onboarding two separate sessions and possibly another session next month, I wanted to give a quick update to our web design team and go over some of the background of our web server and what I expect, what I hope to just to see from them how to help them get started. So very super fast. We have a web server, a company who hosts our website and all our stuff. Um, so they basically provide it for us for free because we're a nonprofit. Super, but we're working off of their server, which is a shared server. It's a shared plan. So we're sharing I guess a blade in a rack somewhere that's running Ubuntu something, I think 20, maybe 18, 20, something like that. But so that means we're set using what the web host company provides for that server. Um, so it's an Apache server. You can look into it. Apache as the server. I don't expect any of our interns to kind of like do the production side. And just to clarify, most tech companies, if they have like web stuff or mobile stuff, there's like a development team and then there's a production team. I consider our group of interns to be learning, learning how to do stuff and learning how to implement it. So you would all be the development team. I consider myself the production team because I'm the one with the keys to everything from GitHub and our web server. So let's focus on that. If there's something broken on the website, and let's blame it on me, I will fix it. I will contribute to the development team because I think that's important. Otherwise, you all don't have any input. But so the technologies that we're kind of working with are the technologies that are set up by default on our web server, on our let's just call it this Ubuntu system. That is Apache. That is a MySQL server, which is the database. So we're developing, like all of this stuff on the back end using the MySQL as the database. They've told me that Node.js is available, but I've never actually gotten to work. I've gotten to work when I log in, when I SSH in, but it doesn't seem to run when I'm not like logged into the platform via SSH or something. It doesn't seem to run in the background or like run scripts on the server side, and that's probably a sticking point for some of the interns, I think. So I just want to clarify, JavaScript is primarily like a client side. It goes to like your browser on your end in your house, your phone, whatever, and the JavaScript runs there. Node.js does the like server side stuff. If you want to write in JavaScript, we're not doing that because it's too much for me to juggle and manage. PHP comes set up on our Ubuntu server. So we're using PHP as the back end. I recently restructured our server so that it will process PHP along with the HTML before it sends the HTML. PHP is short for Hypertext Preprocessor. So it processes the hypertext, the HTML on the server side, and then sends the processed HTML off when somebody requests to access to the website, that kind of thing. So I just didn't want you all to get too wrapped up around that. I don't expect you to learn PHP. I don't. If you're curious about it, I've started sharing some of the endpoints and things that I've written. We can work on that. I would, if you're curious about it, what I would say is I encourage all of our interns to challenge my security practices. That should be an ongoing thing. Feel free to tell me that I have not followed a guideline. I try to stick to the OWASP recommendations on Mozilla. I'll throw those links in Slack as soon as we're done here. But yeah, so that's basically the quick background behind like what our server is, what it's done, and why I've kind of like picked the technologies, or stacks, or whatever you want to call them. Why I picked the services that we're using. It's not really that I picked them; it's just what was there. So hopefully that helps shed some light. If you are onboarded this week and you're still looking around at some of the documentation, I would highly recommend going into GitHub, going into the projects that we have laid out in GitHub for the block coding. Start there. Try to make a couple blocks. It'll give you a good background in like how the whole thing works, how the package that we're using works, how all of that other stuff before you dig into the way we've been customizing it, the way we've been working with it, that kind of thing. If you've been here more than a week and you're ready to get started, definitely make some blocks. I haven't seen anybody do any commits yet or anything like that. And give it a try. There are some other projects in there if you are more experienced. We obviously want to add some other code generators. We want to. The website's probably always in need of some UI updates. I think those are also projects in there. I am going to rewrite the menu because I'm integrating in some of the PHP backend. So I've kind of taken that project on myself. But we want to start saving files and loading workspaces. So like you can build all this code and then save it. Or on the same side, on the other side, the 3D printing or 3D modeling, we want to be able to save those things. So we need to come up with a file format for our saved file. That's the priority. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to hop into VS Code, create a quick file for that. Hey, there we go. And let's I will share that in our Slack somewhere. I don't think I'm going to send it into GitHub because I don't feel like updating repos just to add a draft that we might all contribute to. But so let's go to, let me see here. Dun, dun, dun. I'm in VS Code now. So I do not have Node or NPM set up locally on my computer. If you want to, if you're like an intern with us and you're considering that, if you want to set up PHP as a server on your local desktop, or development platform, whatever, go for it. It'll help you run some of the code. Otherwise, you have to wait for me to upload it, and you're kind of like stuck with my expertise on PHP, which is enough to be dangerous. But yeah, so I don't code with either of those. I pretty much just run the vanilla JavaScript in Firefox and use the Firefox Development Console to help me sort out what's happening with not just the HTML and the CSS, but following events into the code to see where what happens with the JavaScript when you click stuff. But we want to make a file, so I'm gonna start a new file in this devices. We're gonna call it save.json, and I'm gonna start closing all this other stuff because I've been cleaning up the CSS so that you can all read the CSS, and so that I can work with the CSS so that we can kind of compress the code and keep it as we move parts like the slide out into other pages, that kind of thing. But okay, so here we are. We're with this JSS. So with this JSON, sorry. I'm gonna throw in like the bare minimum here. And so to start with, we have this var called a sprite. So I'm just gonna cut and paste this part here because we know we need to save our little guy. And we're going to start deleting some of this. I'm just going to cut this out very quickly. To help me with this, let's see. So we want to go with object name, something like that. And I'm just going to leave null in all of these for right now. Position X. No, I'll come back and rewrite null for all of this. Position Y, and we might want to change all of this. Why did I just do that? We basically need to save all the settings that we've been working with in JavaScript. Images. Ooh, images. Let's make this an array. image URL. I did it again. No. We'll take out that. What did I do here? Am I supposed to have a bracket? Yeah, that's probably it. Let's see, we'll have to declare what the action buttons are. And very important, the toolbox that we're using, the name of the toolbox. And okay, so that would be those. So let's start naming some of this stuff. This is the toolbox that will load. With the object, every object can have its own toolbox. I'm gonna text wrap right there. Why does it? Why, oh, it's probably angry about my JSON. Can we do that? Terrible. No, I just want notes. No. All right, we're just going to leave the red line there. But so what I want to challenge our web design team, if you're ready to do all this stuff, we need to work out like everything we could possibly be saving in our save file, and we're going to save the file as a JSON object, and it's going to go on our server. And I've already written the endpoints to go collect it and give it to the page when the page loads. So let's do this. This is the structure that will be of the object that we saved in the database. I'm going to call it a device. Can be a sprite. What was that? No, we don't want all that. Device can be a sprite. Oh, there's Arduino, etc. I don't know how to do comments in JSON files. How ridiculous is that? I'm going to have to Google that later. I clearly have the wrong file. I write in too many languages to be productive or successful in any of them. Okay, so there's comments there. Action button. This will define which set of action buttons are displayed in the workspace, i.e. run stop buttons, upload connect buttons, etc. Cool. All right. Image URL, fairly self-explanatory. In the future, we will build in some functionality where people can replace our little sprite dude thing with whatever they, draw or whatever the case may be. We'll probably add a background in here too, right? So maybe that's the next part. Oh, should we add a device ID? Yeah, let's do that. We'll add a device ID, but first I want to go back to image. Background image, viewport image, viewport background. There can only be one viewport background, so we're not going to make that an array. Just going to paste this in now so that we kind of see it. Okay, I'm going to save this. In fact, I'm going to save it now, rewrite it, rename it, device save. Device save JSON. There we go. Okay, I'm quickly running out of time today, so I'm not going to spend too much time. And I try to make these videos short anyway. Let's just trim this down. Hop. Okay, there we go. All right. So what I'm going to do then is I'm going to throw this in a Google Doc and share it in Slack for us to develop over the next week or so. I would challenge our web design team, if you're thinking about this, what else am I missing in here? What else can we add? Should we add for the future? And we can obviously change all of this. We can update this. This is where new features will start to roll out. We'll be able to announce to people, oh, there's a new feature. And behind the scenes where we're editing, updating this. But it doesn't make any sense for me to throw this in a GitHub repo right now and keep flooding our Slack with updates that don't really mean anything. I will continue sharing this, like I said, and working on some of our menu stuff. But if you are curious, like how we get started, how we transition from we have no save files to we need to start saving files, I wrote a very basic JSON format that just saves, like, I think the workspace. Now we need to develop this part. We need to expand that so that we can actually save the. Oh, sorry. Very quickly, one thing back. Toolbox null. I don't know toolbox serialized. Because Blockly will allow us to, let me do that again. From the block repo. And let's add that comma right there. Okay, so now it's just angry at me for all of the comments that I don't know how to comment. Okay, all right. So yeah, so we want to make use of the block repo that has all of this serialization function in it, and that's also something we need to consider. Like, how are we going to save this in here? I'm going to give everybody, like, on our team, a little bit of time to think about this, to have some input before I start developing what the rest of this should look like. But yeah, let's discuss this in Slack. I'll put it there for now. All right, I'm gonna head out. That's more than enough time for me. Ooh, closing in on 20 minutes. Ugh. Okay. All right.